we're talking about OUR and and all this, right? It's really hard when I hear about this stuff to almost, I hate to say it, but go to war with what's happening. That is the most evil thing. We're talking about children being kidnapped, tricked, sold into sex slavery, and sometimes even darker than that, like literally murder, harvesting organs, right? That is happening all around the world, but more important, it's happening in our backyard. Here in Utah, here in the United States of America, it's here.
Yep.
And there's so much happened that people are really starting to see, oh my gosh, this is really happening. It's really hard for us to, obviously the education's important, but it's really hard to not want to say, we need to go to war with this. Like, there was a war on drugs. Why don't we have a war on sex trafficking? Why isn't that more of a pressing thing in our government? Or really just across the nation? I hear more about climate change and I hear more about other things than I ever do hear about at a mainstream level, child sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's hard to grasp. It's so hard. We come back from operations and you just can't, you see the headline news on any network and it's just like, how did that make the headline? First of all, the headline doesn't even match the
what
it's
happened.
all BS.
Yeah.
It's just someone poking someone in the eye, right?
Right.
That's what media is now.
Of course.
But they're just, I don't even blame media as much as I blame the people.
Right.
They're just giving the people what they want. They want to be pissed.
Right.
They want that dopamine hit of outrage.
We're the ones who watch it. We vote with our dollars and our time. If we're watching it, then they're going to keep doing it.
So we've got to get the people pissed about something like, I don't know, children being raped. How about that? Like, you want to be pissed about something? Don't fall for some political trick to someone poking their political enemy in the eye and get pissed.
Right.
Why don't you go to the root of all evil, like the most evil thing, which is not some peripheral thing, by the way.
Right.
It's estimated there's 30 million people enslaved today. It's generally recognized as the fastest growing criminal enterprise in the world, catching the drug trade. You can sell a bag of cocaine one time. You can sell a kid 10, 20 times within a 24-hour period. So it's very lucrative. $150 billion a year are exchanged for the buying and selling of people, women, children. To give some perspective, because that number is so huge, right? That's the equivalent roughly to, with $150 billion, in other words, the amount spent on buying and selling people every year, you could buy every Starbucks franchise in the world, right? You could buy, in addition to that, every NBA team and still have enough money left over to send every U.S. kid to college for 4 years. That's how much. So this is not some peripheral thing.
Every year,
right?
Oh my gosh!
I just executive produced with an amazing team called DNA Films, the Emmy winning team. A documentary just barely released. It's hitting the festivals. It's not even technically released. It's called "It's Happening Right Here," and it talks about, because people are like, oh yeah, slavery, that trafficking, that happens in faraway places, far from me. And actually, you know what? The United States, we're the number one consumer of child rape videos in the world. And which means our kids are endangered. And so there's this false sense of security, again, here in this country, that we're free, we're protected. It's Happening Right Here is a revolutionary film that will it breaks right through that and says, no, it's invaded, it's here, right? The rawest form of slavery has hit us and it's hitting our children. So we got to we're excited to promote that and get that out. And again, like I said, it's all about education.
Well, the internet obviously is so prolific and social media is so prolific here. And I know for a fact, that's where a lot of these predators go to find, kids at such a young age on, apps or just on any social media platform. But, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. Facebook announcing the metaverse, right? The metaverse being basically a VR, a virtual reality thing where you could, go in and just live a completely different life. And, the metaverse and just social media in general. But to me, I feel like it's going to become an even bigger issue because now, in this virtual reality world where you literally create your own characters and meet up with people and just live a life inside this virtual reality that is literally getting so much so much attention. It's going to be such a big thing that I'm scared for our future if people wanted to escape reality and be in there and have their metaverse and live in there almost, so to speak, of how people these wolves, these just demon men and women who promote child sex trafficking and just child pornography or anything are going to utilize something like that where they're already utilizing social
They're already
media
doing it, yeah.
to really, I mean, get in contact is all they need with the kids,
Yep.
right? To create a relationship with them, to entice them in, because that's really how it's done,
That's
right?
how it's done in the United States, 100%, and that's what the documentary is all about.
Right. Because it's not like they're just coming snatching them right there.
No.
It's different than
in
that.
other countries. It does happen,
Right,
right?
yeah.
And they're selling kids on the beaches and on the street corner. In the United States, you're not going to recognize it if you don't know what to look for, and it could be happening right in your house.
Right.
Right. And that's what this film's about, where it's all online. It's social media platforms. It's places where pedophiles can reach our children from their own bedrooms. And so it's a scary thing. And to a point I think you're making as well is just like this whole idea of like virtual reality and like the metasphere and all this.
Yeah.
It's what's scary about it is, again, back to Washington's words. Right. Where he talks about the smiles of heaven can never be expected. God's not going to bless his nation if you don't follow. There are rules and order. Those are real things. And this idea of relativity, right? Where it's like, well, if I decide it's not bad, then it's not bad. Who are you to tell me? No, it is bad. It is bad to rape a child. My director, this is scary, but my director of aftercare just got back from a conference of like mainstream therapists. There's an entire group of therapists who are promoting the idea that we are denying sexuality and orgasms to children because they can prove, and this I'm not kidding you, dude. Like UC Santa Cruz has put up papers on how children can technically have orgasms, which is true because they're adults in embryo. They have, they're growing into this. But there's like, well, that's the nature. The natural thing is that, and so adults should be allowed to come in and create orgasms in children, and it'll be such a beautiful.
This is a topic of conversation.
This is a topic of conversation in mainstream conferences right now with like therapists. I've been tracking it for a while, even in the early with the existence, even in the mid 2000s, with the existence of an organization called the North American Man-Boy Love Association.
Oh my
NAMBLA. Have you heard of that?
No, I don't want to.
So this is an actual organization, the North American Man-Boy Love Association, and they are the ones that promote all this literature, saying, look, they're trying to change the laws in the country to make it legal for adults and children to engage in sex. So this is what we're up against. And this is the scary thing when you ignore the warning of people like Washington who say there is actually right and wrong. There is. Okay, and pedophiles are trying to get added to the letter, LGBTQ, the preferred.
I have heard that love has no bounds, so to speak.
They're called
not age, not anything.
Yeah, so they're trying to get themselves added to that group where it's like this is who I am.
And if you deny it, you're going to get canceled.
Right. I mean, I know it's crazy for people to think that we can get to the point where literally a pedophile, if you call someone a pedophile, you get canceled because how dare you? This is who they are. Like, but a child's getting raped. But then I got to remember, of course, the same people who are promoting this are the people who are promoting killing babies, even partial birth or just out of the womb. I mean, if you're willing to do that, I guess you're willing to do anything.
Right, when they're born.
But there is actually rules of order and right, which heaven has ordained.
Yes.
Washington spoke of it. Lincoln spoke of it.
Yeah.
Tubman spoke of it.
Right.
And today we're just like, nope, we're clean board. Just burn all the books like the Nazis did. Burn all the history. It's all sucks. Yeah. We're starting a new order. Yeah. And in this new order, if you don't agree with us, you're canceled and you're dead. And well, what if kids get raped? Well, maybe they should get. Maybe they should. Maybe it'd be good for them. Like this is where we're at, bro. Like this is. And you're talking about infringing on in the name of liberty. In the name of liberty, right? That's what they're saying. In the name of liberty, it was like Lincoln pointed this out, where the South, they claim we're fighting for states' rights. It's our freedoms. Your freedom to enslave somebody. That's what you're doing. You don't get the freedom to enslave somebody. They're making the same arguments today, right? No. This pedophile has the freedom, should have the freedom to rape a child.
Oh, in that case, I got the freedom to go down to his house, take my Mark 18, and just keep going. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh.
But this is the reality of the world that we're living in, and people are going to say, "Oh, whatever, Tim, you're an alarmist." No, I've been watching this trend for a while.
That is mainstream.
It's happening. It'll be just give it a couple of years. And let me tell you, here's where I think it's going to happen. This concept of emancipation, children emancipation, like child actors used to use it, right, to get freedom from their parents. Well, this is growing where like a 14-year-old can be emancipated from their parents and be independent, right? And this is where pedophiles are going to go. I'm telling you, there's going to be this thing where it's like, I'm 13, I can do what I want, and I have a 50-year-old boyfriend, and I'm going to just get emancipated. And the government, if we don't switch things, will start backing this. And again, in the name of liberty, this 14-year-old should have the opportunity to engage in sex with her 50-year-old boyfriend, right? No, that's the opposite of liberty. You're going to destroy this child. I've seen the brain scans of a child who's raped over multiple years up against the brain scan of a child of the same age who was in a severe trauma to the head, automobile accident or something. You can't tell the difference. Like there's orders of rules.
Trauma.
Yeah, this creates trauma. Children can't do this.
No.
Children can't be played with this way and destroyed. This is this is one of the rules of order and right, which heaven has ordained, right?
Yes.
And you don't even need to read about it. Your heart will tell you.
Right.
Just this is why you need God,
yes, right?
Like this is wrong. But children are under attack. I'm telling you. Like it's a really scary world, and this is what we're trying to stand up against and fight.